Hi, my name is Kimia. I'm an international student in Canada, and in this video, I'm going to talk about my experience as an international student and the pros and cons. And I'm gonna focus on biggest challenges I faced as an international student. Um, and it might not be the same for everyone else based on your background, but it might be helpful to keep these things in mind. So, the biggest challenge that I faced, considering I am from Iran, we have the uh, like, second least valuable currency in the world. So, when I came to Canada, I started, you know, changing the currency in my head. Everything I wanted to buy, even like food and real like necessary things that I needed to live. And I I started being very conscious about every little thing, every $1 that I spend, and I was like, I can buy this big thing with the money that I would spend on a salad here. So that was like a big challenge. Uh, and it got to a point that I stopped eating, and I would eat one meal a day, and it was really bad. It was horrible. And the thing is, I did have money. I had $5,000 in my bank account at the time, and I had a meal plan I had 3K on my meal plan, which was already paid for, and I still have 1,000 something left from last year. I was I was that bad, and I was like, no, if I just couldn't eat. I couldn't eat, and this might not happen for everyone. First, because not all currencies are that bad, and also because not everyone are this conscious about money. I used to always just really care about that, and I just don't like to spend much money. Even when I was back home, I was very responsible with money, and I never wanted to put any pressure on my dad. But then I came to Canada, I was like, it was impossible to live in a way that, compared to back where I was back home, it's just not comparable. And actually today, I was thinking, because I'm starting to work and I have my own money now, so I was turning my salary into real, which is our currency, like in Iran. And I could not believe the money, like the other way around. I was like, damn, that's like, I now just want to go back and waste all my money there, because like I could buy so much. But it's there's a big difference. So that was like one big thing. The other one was I was having a really hard time making friends, because I couldn't really connect with people, and I felt like, especially Canadians, I could not connect to domestic students mostly, because I just didn't feel like they understood how, like, my situation, that I had to pay so much money, and I was just far away from my family, and there was a lot of things happening in my country, and they would have never been able to understand what I was going through. And also, because I was so lonely, I started really losing myself. I got myself back. So but yeah, I'm a person who doesn't really care about what people think. I'm very impulsive. I mean, I have ADHD, so that says how impulsive I am, I guess. And I'm also very bold and also blunt, and I just don't really care. I just do what I want, and I couldn't do that anymore. my brain stopped, like, okay, so the way I can describe it is like, I didn't want to be that way, but also there was a different part of my brain that was like fighting the part that really wanted to come out. And I was like just being very conservative of my actions and like my thoughts. And I think that was because I was exposed to so many new things at once that I was kind of scared of taking risks, and being my true self felt like taking a risk. And it still does sometimes, but it's a risk I'm willing to take now, because if someone doesn't like me, I don't care. I want to know now before I waste my time on them and I spend time with them. And if they don't like me, thank God, like, get that bitch out of here. You know, I don't want to be friends with people who don't like the true me. I have a lot of friends who love the way I am, and yeah. So yeah, that was one thing, and it made my first year very hard, because not having friends, especially for someone like I'm an extrovert, and back at home I was in a, like, we were like 7 close friends, and we hung out every day. It was kind of like Friends. You know, the TV show. We were really close, and it was a really hard transition to just going from that to being completely lonely. So yeah, I've heard that from a lot of international students, because we all come from very different backgrounds, and just connecting to people on a level that you used to be able to connect to people, it takes a lot of adjustment. And it's also very, like, the fact that most people start, you know, finding their new self in university, especially international students, that also is a big factor affecting why some people just cannot make those strong friendships as before. So yeah, another con, which is the last con, which is also the most well-known one, I assume, is that Canada is very expensive in terms of tuition too. Like, not just, I mean, yeah, food and everything else is also expensive, but university is like, you know, it's just painful, kind of. It is, no, it's not kind of, it is really painful. I've cried about it actually a lot, like, yeah, I've cried a lot. The difference between international tuition and domestic tuition is, it's so huge. And the feeling of not being welcome, and the fact that, like, you know, you are only here to bring university money, it's kind of a hard truth, and a hard truth to accept. And I have started to make peace with it just recently, and I'm in my 2nd year of university, and it took me a long time, I think, to start to, like, I still am not there yet, but I feel like maybe by the end of this year I might be at peace. And I understand the logic of why international students should pay more, because we have not paid tax. Our parents have not paid tax. So, okay, I get that. But, you know, it wouldn't hurt sometimes to just, you know, the university could throw some, I don't know, like, niche parties for internationals, and, you know, give us more resources so that we feel like our money is worth it, you know? I don't know. It's just annoying. And if you are okay with knowing that you're gonna pay 5 times more than domestic students, And that's just the harsh truth. You just gotta accept it, and it does get better. You get used to it. So yeah, don't really sweat it, but it is definitely a con compared to like a lot of European universities. They give a lot of scholarships. Like, scholarships are really shit in Canada. Like, they don't. I got a scholarship for like $8,000 a year, and I pay $35K a year, and 8,000 like is not really whatever. And yeah, that's like one of the maximum scholarships, by the way. So yeah, talking about the pros, actually, Canada definitely is a good option for if you want to like stay after your graduation. If you're looking for like permanent residency, Canada is a really, really good option, because the path from being an international student to getting your PR to your citizenship is very straightforward. There has been a lot more competition lately, and they have been a little bit more strict. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, strict with their, with who they pick for the PR, but it is still a lot better than, I know, like other countries. You just like, you mostly have a work visa, and it's really hard to get the citizenship, unlike Canada, which I don't actually think is worth the international tuition. Other things maybe could be Canada is a very liberal country, and I love that. I definitely love that. Also, just so we're clear, when I said it's not worth it, you might be like, oh, that's a little bit critical. You're in Canada. Like, yeah. I'm here because my parents have been planning to come to Canada since I was 14. Oh my god, it's such a painful memory. I enrolled in a high school when I was 16, in a Canadian high school, and we paid the tuition, and we got our visas, and like me and my mom, like I got the visa, and my mom, for like, I needed an adult because I'm a minor. I was. And guess what happened? No, guess what happened? COVID happened. And anyway, COVID happened, and we couldn't come together. And literally the year that they started like opening the borders and everything was like, getting to normal, it was 2022, which I was 18, and I just applied to university because, yeah, I graduated high school, and yeah, I do think life would have been a lot easier maybe if I had chosen something like a country. Maybe I was thinking about Italy, but then I also saw a lot of news about like they're messing with gay marriage laws, and I was like, oh god, thank god I'm not there. The difference between like them and then like Justin Trudeau just being so like, we love the gays. Yeah, so for me, it is, I really feel like, my dad's paying it, so I'm made, that's the thing, I'm making peace, like, with myself on the money I'm spending on this. But it took a while to convince myself that it's okay. It's like, oh my god. Anyway, Yeah. If I just, oh, it's just so much money. It's so much money. But yeah, that's it. That's it for today's video. Okay, bye.